Hey guys, this is Eric Weingartner with Weingartner Racing. It's Saturday, so it's kind of an update video on all the stuff that's going to be going on. I'm going to talk about these in just a minute because there's many to talk about, but I know several people have asked about other things, so let me get to those first so I can get to the meat of the subject. All right, so here's an update. The engine's actually out of the Camaro. In case you're wondering what it looks like without it in there, like this. I can actually run a non-sump pan. There's enough room, in case for those that are wondering. Need to change front seal and haven't. So the engine's sitting out there and everything's cool there. So the story with this is, and we'll get to the intakes in just a minute because this plays a part. This engine needs to be dynoed. So I just want to check the air fuel ratio. And we're gonna put on down the word dyno because I think it's gonna read more accurately. But I've got to change some few things. This is like a bonus tip for you guys. For you guys that are running crank triggers, such as this, and you got your alternator pulley, take off the belt, because that's the second time I have ruined a crank trigger. Because what happens is we take it off, we put the wire here, and we go unloosen the torque converter bolts, and this thing rolls right into this, and it crimps the wires and ruins them. I don't feel so bad because that one was probably going bad anyway or needed changed. So I'm gonna change the new crank trigger, which brings up another point. Really, you should probably change those every 3 years. They get some corrosion and stuff. They'll mess you up and you think you're having like missed problems from everything else, and it was just a trigger. So anyway, this is getting dynoed. I could do it right away. I should say right away. Gary has 2 crate engines he needs to dyno. Then he's either going to do the Mule or we're going to do this one. And it really depends on how much time he has, because this one's going to take maybe 3 hours. It's just air fuel ratio. The Mule's going to take all day. So let's get to the intakes. This is the reason why it's going to take all day, and maybe more. So let me describe. First off, AFR donated for those that don't know what the Dyno Mule is, and this is new to you, it's a 406 small block Chevy. It's got the AFR Enforcer 195 heads on that AFR donated the intake and also the heads. Urson supplied the camshaft, and a lot of other companies have kind of helped out here and there just to kind of help. But this is not the exact intake that's on the engine. It's already on there. But this is the same one. So this is part number 4811 AFR. This is what's going to be started off on the baseline to get dynoed. I just happened to get this one because I ordered it for a customer. Which brings me to this. Shipped UPS. I don't care. Like I complained about FedEx. UPS does the same shit. You might say, what are you talking about? Look at that. All right, look at that. Yeah, here's what happened. They dropped it so hard and it messed it up. You might say, they didn't package it right, because I heard that a lot on the FedEx one. No. If any company packages things more than they should, it's AFR. Get a set of their heads and let me tell you how well it's packaged. They actually use these cardboard slots that literally sit right here on each side. So when it drops, it lands on this. This hit so hard, it punctured that and broke that. So it bent the cardboard and also did that. So I'm gonna have to mill this down or something. This is for a different customer. This is not for the Dyno Mule. I'm only using this so you can see what I'm talking about. This intake's gonna be the first one tested, period. It's already on the engine. Not this exact one, obviously, but this one will be the first one tested. Then I'm gonna switch to this. This is the dual plane torque link intake manifold. And this is where things got different. I asked you guys, hey, you got a Hurricane? Send it. And I got one. So this is the one I got from the Racers auction. Its port match is horrible, so we're going to see how bad that is and how it affects power. And then this one is what a customer sent me. And I was hoping to get an older style Hurricane. Instead, I got a third iteration that I have never seen before. Here's what I mean. That's that. See how different our openings are? Both are the same part number, by the way. This makes the third one. There's another person has sending me, and won't be here till Tuesday, the original Hurricane, the ones that have thicker divider than these, and the opening looks like this. That's the one I really wanted. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna test that one that comes in on Tuesday. So actually 3 Hurricanes will be tested. This one, because the port match is so bad. This one, because it's just different. And I tried calling, good luck. They don't answer really. They don't call you back for sure. And then I'm testing another Hurricane. And then we're going on to these. Tony supplied this one. This is Performer RPM, and it's not the air gap, just Performer RPM. And that one will be tested. This is the Edelbrock Super Victor. This is for a customer. I've got to port it, but he said, go ahead and try it for the dyno. I don't mind. So it's completely stock. And then this customer also said, go ahead, I don't care. I got to port this one too, but we're going to run it completely stock. This is the Edelbrock 2892. So you have the regular Super Victor 2. These two, I haven't talked to the customers yet, but I like to because I'd like to test those as well. So what this one is, this is a Holley 300-110. The strip dominator, but it's the 110 version, not the 325. This is the same one that I use on that engine. This is the Brodix BM1000, far superior than the HVH 1000 crap that they sold. So I would like to test this one too. However, I've asked neither one of these customers, so maybe I can ask them and they'll say yes, then I could use them. Because I got to port both anyway, so they'll be all cleaned up when they get done. But I haven't. I would like to. But here's the other thing. This dyno thing takes a day. I mean, I should say, I'm going to use it for a whole day, but it's coming out of my pocket. So it's not like he's cut me a deal just doing it for free. And I wouldn't ask him to. So I've only got a certain amount of money and time, because there's for sure some I'm going to get through. I for sure want to get through these to probably there. I'm going to get to that dual plane. I don't know if I'm going to get those two if I'll run out of time. And obviously those. The reason why I say that is, not only is it the money to pay for the dyno, it's production. So each day I'm away from the shop, I can't grind, so I'm not making any money. So you're spending money and not making money is not a good idea. But hopefully I can get it on a Friday. Then I can get Keith, who works for me on Fridays, and maybe we can knock this out and we can get it done. So the plan absolutely is to get as much as I can done. And you might say, why are you testing all the manifolds? Here's the reason why. I'm trying to get a bunch done in a session because each one will be trying something different for the next session. So let me explain. So since this one's on there, the next time we go back to the dyno after the initial one where we test all the intakes, on this manifold itself, I'm going to test if removing the clover leaf yields any more power. So having the baseline on the manifolds for that, this one will not be used again. This one, I'm going to actually epoxy up the openings and make them like they should be to see if that gains anything. This one, I'm only testing surface finishes. So the next time it goes to the dyno, I'm going to burr finish it and see if it does anything. And then I'm going to 60 grit it the next third time we go, so we can see, but those finishes make that much of a difference. So that's that one. Now the other Hurricane that's on the way, that one I'm going to test length. And someone brought up a good idea. Don't use epoxy. Why don't you just make pieces of aluminum, slide them in there, and then just tack them in place. And that's what I'm going to do. So on the other Hurricane that comes, which will look similar to this, I'm going to put pieces in here, and I'm going to weld, and we can see if runner length, what it does. So on that one, that's what that will happen. On this RPM down here, this one, because it's not cut out here, I'm going to cut out the divider and see what that does. So we have definite answers. These ones are really just, I wonder what it'll do. You know what I mean? So they're just from the stock. So these will probably not get used again, unless, and it's a big unless, I have to port that one, have to port that one, have to port all of these. So it may be a chance where the customer's like, you know, I want to see what it does ported wise on there. And so those might go back on. These two, maybe. I haven't even talked to these two guys, so that's kind of the question. But so then we can see, well, does a ported one make a difference? Now here's the other thing. As much as these manifolds are getting done, the thing to remember too is I'm going to revisit them because the heads are completely stock. And I've already flowed them. You can go back and look at other videos. They flow like 280, right? So chances are, once you get the manifold pretty good, it's not going to be the limiting factor, be the head. So once I get to doing stages of porting on the head, so you can see what exactly changed when I just port the exhaust port and so on and so forth. But once the head's more further along, we're going to revisit this. And we're going to be like, all right, we're going to put this back on to see if it does anything. We're going to check the surface finishes again to see if it changed anything, because now the heads move more air. Do the links make a difference now because we've changed, because the heads move more air? Same with the divider and stuff. So, and at that point, maybe we'll just throw on a couple ported ones just for reference. But that's the plan. I know this was a little bit longer video than normal, but I wanted to give it all. Now, here's the last thing. This has nothing related to this manifolds. You're not going to get a video next week, and because this. My son will turn 16 next Saturday, so I'm not doing a video, but the biggest thing for him, and this is huge for him, huge. If you don't care about this, it's fine, but if you're a father, you totally understand when you brag on your son. He has regionals on Friday. Now what that is, he's swimming. So what that is, and honestly, if you're into sports and you hate the way the society works with football, like if you didn't play as a kid and your dad wasn't the coach, so you never got to play quarterback, and you hate that idea of the sports, swimming's your passion. It should be, because it's just strictly time-based. So it doesn't matter if you're the coach's kid or not. If you're the fastest, you're the winner. You're getting there. So, and the way it works is regionals are coming up on Friday, and he has to make a certain time to make state. And he has made tremendous growth. So just to give you an idea, he was slow last year. Last year he did it in a 50 meters. He did a 33. On Thursday, he had his swim meet, and he did a 26:20. He needs a 25 to qualify for state. So he's about 2/10 off from being in the 25s. He also needs to have a 55 and 100, and I think he's done a 57. So he's 2 seconds off there. He's close. It could happen, but it's still going to be a mountain to climb. But the kid's knocking off tremendous times. Tremendous. I mean, just to give you an idea, 1 month ago, he was doing a 27:20, so he knocked off a second in a month. And a 50. That's huge. How much time has he invested? Let me tell you. So at the end of last year, he'd only won one heat the entire swim season, one. And then one of the slower heats too, like the slowest heat. So at the end of the season, I said, you know, how are you feeling about it? You still enjoying it? He said, yes, but I want to make state. I was like, well, it's going to require other stuff. You don't win during the season, you win during the off season. I can just supply you with as much resources as I possibly can, but it's up to you to do it. He said, I want to make state, whatever it takes. So we put him with a strength and conditioning coach. He ended up losing about 30 pounds. But I shouldn't say 30. He lost 20, and then he started growing, and he got way stronger. The kid went from being kind of pudgy. I'm not mad about it or nothing. I love him either way. To slim and tall and strong. And he did strength and conditioning, and then he did a private swim coach, and then he joined Swim Tulsa, which if you're in the Tulsa area, I highly recommend that, because he swims for Broken Arrow, but Swim Tulsa is based in Tulsa Union. It's a different school district, and it's a different club, and it costs money. And that coach has been phenomenal. What she has done to help him, and there's two coaches really, has been huge. And really, and I know I'm going long and you may not care, but it's been a huge deal, because I'm going to tell you this. He went to go try out for Swim Tulsa because they've got 3 teams. They've got like a gold team, a white team, and a blue team. The gold team is the ones he wants to be on. It was the start of the year, and he'd already had strength and conditioning through the entire summer. He'd been in a private coach. We put him in for swimming during the summer to get his strokes better. He goes to Swim Tulsa for the tryouts, and he doesn't even make the gold team. So he was pretty crushed, and we walked away. She called us back, and she said, actually, I want him on gold team. There was another swimmer here that vouched for him that he wouldn't give up. And it kind of makes me teared up, because it was another one of his teammates that didn't even know that was going there. And she, has made state, got a swim scholarship to go to college, vouched for him that he wouldn't quit. So the Swim Tulsa coach took him on. And man, life changing for him, because if it hadn't been for that, I don't know that he'd be where he is today. So it's been a huge deal, and he's so damn close. We'll see. So on Friday, I'm for sure not doing a video. I'm going to be watching him swim. You betcha I'm yelling my loudest. So anyway, and then Saturday is his birthday, so no video. Tomorrow's video is a Cadillac big block head. If you're into different stuff, this week's for different, because that one's going to be that one. Maybe Wednesday I'll do the Mopar 440 head that came in. But anyway, longer video. Sorry for that. Thought I'd show you some of the stuff. Brag on my kid. Yeah. A lot of exciting week for me and my son. I really hope he does it. So, but this will be cool. I promise you. A lot of information. You guys take care.